Hello guys. Good to see you on this channel. Do you like IPOs the way I love them? Mobileye, one of the world's leaders in driver assistance systems and self-driving car technologies, had its IPO at the end of October. Mobileye is a subsidiary of Intel after the latter bought it for $15.3 billion in 2017. The company's IPO valuation was about $17 billion and rose to $20 billion after the start of trading. Thus, Mobileye's capitalization grew by only 11% during its ownership of Intel. On the other hand, Intel's valuation was down more than 20% in the same time frame. Just over 5% of the company's stock was really sold and about $1 billion was raised by the IPO. This money will be received by Intel itself on account of $3 billion of Mobileye's debt to the parent company. Following the IPO, we still have two questions for Intel. Firstly, why would the company need this $1 billion if it has $18 billion in cash and cash equivalents at the end of the quarterly report? Secondly, why would there be an IPO now at $17 billion if Intel's CEO announced recently a valuation of Mobileye at $30 to $50 billion? I have two main assumptions. Either Intel is confident in the further fall of the growth stock and this was the last opportunity to fix some profit from the deal. Or the company wants to improve its financial statements with an accurate understanding of the value of Mobileye. It is about 18% of Intel's capitalization at the moment. It also opens up the possibility of getting money quickly through a potential SPO. Regardless of the reasons for this IPO, Mobileye stock was the first opportunity to invest in an autonomous driving market company directly rather than through its parent company. Could such a company be interesting to invest in? Mobileye is a classic growth company. Revenues are growing at an average annual rate of 25 to 30%, and shipments of its EyeQ chips are growing at an average annual rate of 60%. From Intel's consolidated reports and their forecasts, we can estimate Mobileye's financial metrics. PE ratio is 44, PS ratio is 11.4, and the operating margin is 28%. In addition, Mobileye still owes parent Intel about $2 billion, which is also a concern due to high US interest rates. So, Mobileye stocks may look quite expensive, but we should not forget that the company has not yet started to monetize its developments in autopilot with autonomy above level 2. So the development of autonomous driving technologies could significantly improve the company's financial position. What solutions does Mobileye offer on the market? The only business segment that brings the company money is ADAS, or an advanced driver assistance system. It is any of a group of electronic technologies that assist drivers in driving and parking functions. Through a safe human-machine interface, ADAS increase car and road safety. ADAS use automated technology, such as sensors and cameras, to detect nearby obstacles or driver errors, and respond accordingly. Classic examples of such systems are parking sensors or cruise control. Mobileye's main goal is to create a fully autonomous vehicle that would not need a living person to operate. That's level 4 or higher autonomy. However, the company's nearest commercial goals are the automation of freight transportation and the creation of the robo-taxi service. These goals are easier to realize since vehicles will move along predetermined and standardized routes. At the moment, Mobileye is actively cooperating with Volkswagen, NIO, and Geely in these areas. Usually, all the companies in this market are developing autonomous driving technologies, either using cameras, which are quite cheap, but complicate the task of image analysis, or using radar and LiDAR, which allow recognizing any distance with millimeter accuracy, but are extremely expensive. Mobileye is trying to combine these solutions, using cameras as the main tool with some addition of lidars to improve accuracy. To solve the problem of autonomous driving, Mobileye has created the RSS, Responsibility Sensitive Safety, a system based on artificial intelligence and current camera and sensor readings, and decides how the vehicle should act in any situation. However, to reduce the time of calculations and to expand the pool of information for the RSS system, Mobileye is actively developing road experience management technology, or an interactive map of the world. With it, the RSS system can not only navigate with the current data from cameras and lidars, but also have basic advanced data about the route, from the presence of crosswalks and other signs ahead to statistics on how drivers usually behave on that stretch of road and, for example, the probability of meeting wild animals on the road. MoveIt, a company bought by Intel for $1 billion in 2020 and integrated into Mobileye, is responsible for collecting and aggregating this data. Mobileye claims that more than 8 billion kilometers of roads have already been processed, and more than 8 million kilometers are updated daily using vehicles equipped with Mobileye solutions. This, for example, is what a map of digitized highways in America and Europe looks like. Pretty good, I think. Also, To optimize calculations for processing data from cameras and sensors for its needs, the company is developing its own microprocessors IC. The most advanced at the moment is the IC 5th generation microprocessor. Mobileye CEO Amnon Shaswa said that in 2023 the company will release the next generation IC Ultra chip, which will be enough to provide all the calculations needed for fully autonomous driving. Mobileye expects the ADAS market to expand, and commercial robotaxis starting as early as next year. Providing fully autonomous driving services requires the development of not only technology but also a legal framework and is likely to be around 5 to 10 years from now. Mobileye says its potential market could grow from $16 billion today to about $40 billion in 2026 and $480 billion in 2030 as it works toward ultimately developing robotaxi, which are fully autonomous vehicles. The projections look very optimistic, so I would prefer to consult independent analysts, and this is what I was able to find. The entire ADAS market is now valued at about $20 to $30 billion and is expected to grow at about 10 to 15% annually. The robotaxi market is virtually non-existent right now and is less than $1 billion, but according to various analysts' estimates, the annual growth rate could be 60 to 140%. Thus, an investment in Mobileye may more than justify if the robotaxi segment starts generating steady revenue and profits, as the extension of the ADAS market will not allow the company to grow at the same rapid pace in the future. However, we have to understand that robotaxi may have huge problems with public opinion, from society's rejection of self-driving vehicles to the strong resistance of the cab drivers' union. For example, Uber or Lyft have not been able to work properly in all countries. What's more, replacing taxpayers with potentially dangerous robots is sure to meet additional resistance from left-wing politicians. Another crucial task for the entire project is to significantly reduce the cost of all autonomous driving systems. Right now, the cost of all the cameras, sensors, lidars, and processors is measured in tens of thousands of dollars, and effectively doubles the cost of the car. At the last Intel Investor Day, Amnon Shaswa said that the cost will drop to less than $5,000 by 2026. It's not entirely clear exactly how the cost will be reduced so much. Mobileye answers this question only partially, explaining that one IC 6 Ultra chip will be able to replace 6 current IC 5 chips. Also, the company will develop high-resolution imaging radars to reduce the use of costly LiDAR sensors and plans to produce their own lidars. To summarize the above in 3 words, Mobileye is interesting, expensive and risky. But if they manage to change the world, it will be a great investment. And I remind you to subscribe to our channel, there will be many more overviews.